Welcome everyone to day 2 of our New Year, New You Summit. And this summit is inspired by the fact that we're in 2025 and a lot of people will make New Year's resolutions they set the bar like way up here. We're going to change our whole life, all the things that are wrong with us, And guess what? We are all perfect the way we are. But if we want to make improvements, what we're going to talk about today, and I have these amazing experts here with me, where we're going to talk about how you can make sustainable changes to your lifestyle and not think about just like totally overhauling your whole life in one day. So let me introduce my panel of experts here for you. I have Anupama Chatterjee here, and she is a happiness coach, a wellness expert, a healer, nutritionist, and mental wellness expert with over 7 years of experience, and has been featured as a panel speaker by the Courageous Leadership Summit USA, the Millionaires Are Made podcast USA, the Charming Buddha podcast from India. And she's been featured by the Body and Strength magazine. She's been a keynote speaker for the Scotland Taekwondo Open Championship. And she works with corporate leaders, executives to help build permanent inner well-being and to live a fun life no matter what is going on in your life.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Next, I
Thank
have
you.
Cam Kashani.
Kashani.
Kashani, sorry, Cam.
Kashani, yes.
Kashani. Okay, I should have known better. But anyway, Cam is known as a spiritual surgeon, helping women to identify and heal their wounds and embody their authentic power using a combination of intuitive coaching and spiritual psychology. She has a doctorate in spirituality and has been nominated 4 times for her work by the Los Angeles Business Journal. And she is also an inspirational speaker. Cam, welcome.
Thank you so much.
And next we have Nancy Leeds Gribble. And Nancy is a plant-based culinary nutrition expert, a women's wellness and weight loss coach. Coach. You'd think I was in the fires there. Sorry. And she specializes in empowering women in midlife and beyond with tools and guidance that they need for optimal health, weight loss, hormone balance, and body confidence. She believes and shares how transformative power of food can heal, support, and build our health and create ageless vitality. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We appreciate your time, by all of you. And Leslie Urbas is a registered dietitian and personal trainer who helps women entrepreneurs lose weight without a diet while eating the food they love using digestion codes. And she was originally a dietitian in the US Navy and decided to start her business, Digestion Codes, to help women. Leslie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'm going to start with my first question, which is about your story. I want to know what inspired you to pursue the path that you're on today and dedicate your life to empowering women through personal wellness and personal transformation. And Anupama, I'm going to start with you.
Just awesome. Thank you. So if you ask me how I started my journey, it's because I started my journey as a nutritionist, because when I was doing my master's in nutrition and I started working with people who were just looking to lose some kind of weight, trying to lose some kind of liver issues, trying to solve some kind of maintain some kind of balance in their diet. And when I started working with them, what happened is I started to realize slowly, slowly, they didn't have problems with their diet as much as they had a problem with their mindset. What I mean by that is no matter what diet they followed, they would always fall off the back. They would always go to something else and they would come back and then say that, I think I can't do this. And that's when I realized that it's not only about the diet, no matter what diet, no matter how good, if you are not in the right mindset, you'll never be able to crack the right lifestyle that's going to empower you to live a healthy and long life. That's a basic requirement. That's when I shifted to happiness coaching, which is now a balance of not just diet, not just mindset, not just soul, but the entire spectrum of what actually creates a healthy and sustainable long life. So that's how I started my journey. And it's been, I think, 7 years now. And now I find people going much more strongly, happily, doing what they love, losing all the weight, living a fun-filled life, no matter what's going on. So that's my journey.
Well, that's where we all want to be, right? And happiness is a great first place to start. Nancy, maybe you could tell a little bit about your story.
Yeah, mine's a little, I think, kind of normal my entire life. I was really a yo-yo dieter. I had one goal in life, and that was chasing skinny. It's kind of what marketing taught us to do. And that's what I did. I didn't have health or nutrition. It wasn't on my radar, didn't even care. Even as a vegan, that wasn't my priority. In 2008, my personal world came crashing down in a variety of ways. When I came out of the fog, I'm standing here, I'm an older single mom, and I'm looking at my very young son, and I'm thinking, God has entrusted me to take care of this little boy, and I need to get my health together. I need to promise him that he's going to have a mom that will be very energetic, that will be around for a long time. I'm sorry, my internet just beeped off. That will be around for a long time. And I immediately said, all right, I got to take care of my health. What do I do first? And I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and was just amazed with everything that I learned. And so I kept going. And what happened was when all this journey began, because of my love for him, I started like loving myself more. I started living life more. I started feeling more confident in things. I had more energy. I had more vitality. And that is really where mine began. I'm like, I have to share this and, and let everybody know the power of food, the power of taking care of ourselves. And we want results now, but we also want to play the long game and have a good longevity plan. So that was where I started.
I love that. And what I love about, I mean, all the stories are beautiful, but I love about your story is you just started with one thing and it took you on a journey that you didn't even know where it was going to take you that led you here as a healer. And I can relate to that. Cam.
Yes.
Your story now.
Yes. Well, for me, it's been an interesting journey. So my work is primarily women's empowerment. And I was the most disempowered person alive. I was bullied all through my life. I was in abusive relationships. I had no sense of self-worth. I had no part of me that truly loved me at all. When someone did love me, I always wondered why. I really had no sense of self, no sense of self-worth. And fast forward, and I always had that battle with my body. That was a big thing growing up. I yo-yoed up and down. My weight, I later learned, was a form of protection to keep me safe from all of the bad people in the world. And so fast forward, about 12 years into my first marriage, I realized I needed to leave. I had twin boys, and they were 1.5. And I really felt that I could not raise them in such an environment. And so began my awakening. my divorce was actually the biggest blessing I've ever had. And it began this like kind of like going into the rabbit hole and trying to understand myself as much as I possibly could. And so I did, I definitely went through a period of depression first. I definitely went through some victimization first. I went through all of those emotions, but then it led me to this space of hiring a coach and reading books and going to seminars. And slowly but surely, I started to find pieces of myself and I started calling back my power and I stopped being in that victim consciousness. And I reminded myself and learned at that time that everything happens for me, not to me. And once I began to do that, my voice changed, my face changed, my body, I mean, everything began to transform. Literally everything began to transform. Once I took responsibility, radical responsibility for myself and my emotions. And in that work, I was led to this space of the core wounds that women walk around with, the core wounds that we all walk around with. And my biggest one was, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. And almost all women have that in some way, shape, or form. And so as I have done the work to heal that and become the person that I am, it's like, if I can do it, there is no way you cannot. The quiet girl who was like in the corner that didn't want to be seen, literally like this, like, and I would wear black all the time and like big clothes and just, please God, don't look at me. And like now being who I am, there is no way that anybody who is not dedicated to their growth and to their empowerment can't do that as well. So that's my story. That's my fuel.
I love it. I love it. And I think you're right. In some way, we all have that. It's just baked in the culturally, the I'm not good enough, for sure. Because I'm sure many women, if not all, can resonate with that. Leslie.
Howdy. It's tough to go after that one. No, just joking. Just making everybody laugh a little bit, I guess. Kind of my nature. Truthfully, I think all of everyone's journey starts the first moment somebody points out something is wrong with their body, right? So I think that that's really the moment where we all click, is whenever it's mentioned, whether it's 4 or 12 or whatever age. But for me, mine was when I was 15, truthfully. Probably before that, but when I was 15 and my high school softball coach told me I was too fat to play varsity softball. And less than 5 days later, when I started high school, another girl told me I was too fat to hang out with on the weekends. And at the time, I was a normal, healthy body weight. I vowed at that moment that I was going to become a 62 inches or 5'2", depending on how you want to look at it. I know it's different metric systems for everybody, but us here in America who have to do something weird, right? And 110 pounds, right? Or probably around like 42, 43, 44, 45 kilograms is what I was looking to be. And I'm 5'7", and I've always had an athletic body. But it didn't stop me from forcing my body to become the thing that had to be fixed, sort of like a term paper or any of the things. I spent my life trying to do as good as I was doing in all the other things in terms of my body. And that's really how it started. And how I wound up here is really through probably losing attachment to my body and then understanding how to become a part of myself again, not like mind one place and the body is against me.
Yeah, I'm hearing a theme here with the weight thing. And again, I'm sure it resonates with many women. For myself, I remember the magazines back when I was reading the magazines when I was 15 and 16, because that's when it started for me as well. I would, there wasn't the internet. So I'm dating myself really well here, but that's okay. I'm very proud of where I come from. A healthy body weight was, for somebody that was my height, was like between 105 and 115. And there is no way now that I know it, and I was a healthy body weight when I started as well. So I totally get your journey because but that was what it was like, healthy body weight was, I guess in the magazines, if you want to be a model, 105 to 115. And there's no way that I would ever be healthy at that weight. Now I know that though, for sure. Well, let's get into some of our questions. And I'm going to start with one on food and nutrition. You can put it whatever way you want, but food and nutrition do play an integral role in our health and vitality. I myself see it as the foundation. And so how do you help women to leverage the power of food to heal their bodies, maybe balance hormones and regain some confidence? And Nancy, I'm going to start with you on this question.
Oh, thank you. Well, I love the power of food. That is what I'm all about. It really is perfectly designed for us. And when women come to me, I mean, the first way I would help them, honestly, is take a look at what they're doing first. A lot of women think they're eating healthy, but truthfully, they're under eating a lot, or they're eating a lot of the very same foods every week. So I just kind of help them start to see first and create the awareness of how they're eating, and then help them add in. I think it's really important that we don't immediately focus on everything they have to remove. That's too daunting. And I truly don't come from a mindset of, eliminating everything. But I want you to have more whole foods in. So we'll start the add in. And as they start adding in maybe, extra fruits each week, extra veggies another week, increasing their protein intake, the other things, just by the nature of it, start to fall off. So I always focus on the micronutrients first, making sure they're getting a good diversity as they grow into it of like 20 to 30 different things. And then for me personally, I do focus on the balance of the fats, proteins, and carbs that they're taking in, and making sure that they're getting enough that's uniquely designed for their lifestyle, their body, goals, etc.
Very good. I like the idea of adding in, and that's also a very positive way to look at it and not a negative. Cam, your thoughts?
For me, what's been a big game changer, because I'll tell you, like I I went from addiction to bulimia to starving myself to, all of those beautiful things. I was addicted to amphetamines on and off for 20 years in the form of Adderall, a prescription that is apparently safe. And what helped me actually more than anything else was gut health. I was so focused on calories, and I was so focused on, eat this, don't eat that, blah, 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 that it became toxic. It became very, very toxic for me to think that way. And it didn't work for me. And so I began working with a functional medicine doctor, and I did a 6-month systemic reset cleanse. And this includes heavy metal cleansing, parasite cleansing, any and all like bacterias, viruses, whatever. It clears out everything. And that has been the biggest game changer for me. First of all, parasites, holy shit. They literally control what you think. They control how you feel. I had no idea what I mean, I've heard of parasites, but I didn't know how incredibly intense and how much control they can have over you. And clearing those out of my body has been an absolute game changer, not just for the way my body looks. It's more just about the way that I feel free in myself. I feel like a sovereign being again. I no longer have this little fucker in there, excuse me, my language. I don't know if I can swear here or not, but I no longer have this little thing in my head or in my body telling me lies. So that has been a really, really big thing. And also for me, I've learned that the body, the female body specifically, is filled with ancient codes, is filled with power. And for us to look at it as this thing that needs to look a certain way is never going to serve us. Because that's not the point. The point isn't for it to look a certain way. The point of it is to honor it, to love it, no matter what it does. It's going to go up and down. It's going to go through phases. You know, you hit different hormonal periods in life as a woman. There's different things that happen. And it's really, really important for us to acknowledge and honor her as she is. And I feel that as I've done that as well, it's really helped transform the way I look and the way I feel.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, is to honor yourself where you're at. And we're all perfect for where we're at in our journey. And we need to, I think, keep that in mind, and not let the scale dictate whether we're happy. And even if you do this, if you get to the perfect weight, doesn't mean that you're going to be happy either. That's a big thing, right? And one of our guests yesterday, who happened to be a male guest, actually was talking about how much more advanced the female brain is to the male brain. And I think you're just seconding that our whole body is very complex and advanced.
Yep, full of wisdom.
Yeah, I love that. And we need to remember that as women. Leslie.
Yep.
Yeah. So truthfully, to me, even though I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer, and I should be sitting here probably saying similar things, I don't, because my A-type personality was once consumed by all of these things. Give me the numbers, give me the things, give me the cleanses, give me the this, give me the diet, give me the plan. As long as I do it, as long as I have it and I'm doing the thing, I'm going to help myself. But truly, what I base my program on, digestion codes, is going backwards to the fact that you don't have to teach a newborn baby, this means hungry, this means tired, this means poop, this means pee. A baby's body automatically knows what it's supposed to do, right? And a baby, typically, when provided correct foods, will eat in a certain way. But we steal that from our children. We steal that from them with, you will eat now, you will drink now. What do you think? You get to get up in the middle of class and go to the bathroom? I don't think so. You just went. God forbid you have to take too long in the bathroom because it takes you a little while to go. And then the teacher tells you you can't. You learn not to eat. You learn not to drink. We learn our body is known from these things outside. And we're still living that right now. We're getting tests and we're getting diets and we're getting things like that. Whereas the code we were written in, the code that told us, I'm hungry, I need to eat, whether that was perfect, like, I was taught a breastfeeding baby was supposed to be fed every 2 hours and no sooner. Neither one of my kids ever made it 2 hours. They ate and they would eat, and I pumped plenty and I did all of the things, and they ate and they were healthy. And still to this day, I don't force them to be on a schedule, and we do the best to keep them that way because they are their innate wisdom. You could give my son literally this day his choice of broccoli, fruit, and chocolate. And I can guarantee you, in order, he will eat broccoli, fruit, and then chocolate. And I don't do that. I would eat the chocolate first, okay? I want that first because that was sparse as a child. So the mechanisms I really believe that are important for nutrition is getting back to the root of what your body needs. Your body, very much like Cam just said, is a temple. Your body knows. The body knows I need more of this. That's why sometimes we can eat in a certain cycle and repetitively eat certain foods versus needing different foods because our body knows more than what the outside things can say. So that's my truthful take on nutrition, and probably not at all what my college professor would have told me to say at this moment. So
I like that. And I like that because, yeah, I mean, what we learn in school isn't necessarily what we learn when we get out into the real world and start practicing. I just, as a follow-up, if you're, how do people break free and move towards that? I guess that's part of your digestive code program.
yeah. Exactly. There's actually quite a lot of ways for you to intuitively find that out and just some small practices. And that's what's really cool. But we make it really complex, right? We make it really complex that we need these things because the answers can be, I can get a lab draw, I can get a hormone test, I can get these things. And some people need those concrete answers. But if you're an A type like me, all of those answers just make you want to get 100% on the test again. And I don't want to keep earning 100% on the test. I want to understand my body. And if that means I'm slightly different than the test, I guess so be it.
I like that. I like that. And Apuma,
Yes.
your turn.
Would you mind Yes. Would you mind
Oh, yeah,
repeating the question, like the
sure.
entire question for me?
Yeah, we're talking about food and nutrition and how they play an integral role in our health and vitality. And how do you help women leverage the power of food to heal their bodies, maybe balance their hormones? Well, we want to balance our hormones and also regain their confidence.
Yes, I asked that question in sequence because there's a lot of different angles, because all of what Nancy said and one Cam said and one Leslie said, very important angles, all different important angles to one specific goal. And that's why I wanted to know specifically what the question was. Now, here, how the role of food and nutrition is we all know that 75% of what you eat is what you are. That's the basic of what we all know. What we don't know is the fact that you won't eat what you need to eat until you're feeling like you need to eat. The apple could be in front of my eyes and I could be staring at that apple and my laptop for 3 hours and I could not be eating that apple. As a nutritionist, I could tell you that when I'm really stressed, when I'm really worked out, when I'm really burnt out, emotionally, physically, I would not be eating the right things for myself. That happens to a lot of women, particularly in their midlife, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, due to stress, due to burnout. It happens all the time. Your hormones get out of cycle. Your sleep, your energy, your mood totally depends on how you are feeling. And how you're feeling is when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking about, oh, I need to eat this. Every day, I'm not driven like that. Every day, no one is driven like that. How you're feeling, the questions that you were thinking about just before you went to sleep last night are the questions most of the times you wake up in the morning with, feeling about what am I going to do about that situation that's going in my life? What am I going to do about that meeting that I have with my certain relative or a certain boss or a certain business deal that I'm going to do? If you're not finding those answers, if you're not able to calm your mind in a way that your mind is aligned with the body, you will never eat the food that you need for your soul. Like Nancy said, there are different things that you need to integrate in your food every single day, because we need all of the things. We need all of the micronutrients, we need all of the phytonutrients, we need all of the different kinds of food. You can't teach your body to eat what it needs to eat until your body is ready for that. And how your body is ready for that is by readying your mind. You need to be feeling at your best self all the time so that you're happy. And for women, it's such an added pressure, because by the time women get to their late 20s or early 30s, they start feeling low confidence, lot of anxiety, lot of stress, and low importance to themselves. They lose the priority from themselves and it's all about the other world. What does my family need? What does my children need? What does my boss need? All of that goes out and nothing inwards come in. So how I help my clients is I help them take the mirror from the other people and look at you. What are you feeling? What do you need to feel the best way, so that you can start eating all the things, so that you can start doing whatever you want. It could be losing the weight, it could be maintaining a healthy body, it could be just doing all the things that you want to do in life and get ahead and hit your goals. How you start feeling is how you will start eating. So that's my role on the entire thing. And this happened only after I started. It's an interesting because uh, it started only after I started working as a nutritionist, when people came to me for diet plans and I would give them these plans and it would work great for 5 months and they would lose like 10 kgs. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but they would lose this 10 kgs and then come back after 8 months and like, I gained back all the weight. Then I had to look into, but what happened? What changed in the last 2 months? And they would say like, this happened and I had this divorce or I had this problem with my child and I had this miscarriage, like that's the thing we need to fix. If you fix that, you will fix automatically how you're feeling and you will start getting on the diet. So that's my take.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, 10 kilos is around 22, 25 pounds. We'll
Yes.
just say 25 for roundness sake. And it's no fun to lose weight and gain it back and all that stuff. Boy, it's hard on our body, but it's also hard on our psyche and how we feel about ourselves. So I'm going to turn to the whole idea of inner healing and self-awareness, which we're already talking about are really crucial for true transformation. And I just wanted to know how you guide your women to identify and heal the wounds. And Cam, you talked a little bit about wound healing, which is so important because I think we don't even know that these wounds are here a lot of times. We bury them and our mind is protecting us by forgetting about them. And why is it so important also to embrace our own authentic power? You said we're amazing temples as women. I'm going to let you answer this first.
Yes, thank you. You nailed it on the head. Like the most important thing here is becoming aware of the fact that we are operating in our wounding, and we don't know this. From the moment we're conceived in our mother's womb, we are receiving her program. Whatever she believed about herself is getting downloaded into us. Then we're born and we receive a whole other set of programming, which are all lies. This whole body thing, that there's something out there beyond you that is going to make you better. That you are not perfect right now in this moment. You're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too old, you're too loud, you're too much, you're not enough. All of these things are things that women are constantly being bombarded with. And it takes a toll. I mean, I remember as a little kid, I'm Middle Eastern, I was born in Iran. And in the Middle Eastern culture, this goes as deep as it goes for a woman to be quiet, right? So and I was, according to my mom, I was actually, a pretty rambunctious, like to go around and do things. And every time, shh, shh, quiet, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, do that. This thing, which is like a normal thing for a mother to do, right, actually ended up resulting in me believing that it's not safe for me to speak my truth. And that's a wound, right? And all these other lies that we've been told about our bodies, about the way that we look, about the way that we operate, about so many parts of us, has resulted in us believing we're not enough, we're not worthy, and that something outside of us is the answer. Do this diet, do this cream, go get a butt implant, go get your, this done, that done, this lifted, this whatever. None of it actually ends up making anybody happy. The happiness is not in the thing. The happiness is inside. And it takes really deep work in order for us to really get to that space of authentic happiness, which results in authentic empowerment. When I was going through my whole thing that I went through, from the healing and the, awakening and the divorce and this and that, whatever, there was a point where I had lost a ton of weight and I was still miserable. I was totally miserable. And I remember my mom, God bless her, she's one of the main people who made me question my body, of course. She comes to me and she goes, "You look so skinny. Aren't you happy?" And I'm like dying in the middle of this divorce. And I'm like, that's the last thing I'm thinking about. And no, I'm not. And that was a very big defining moment for me, because I always thought once I hit that particular pound on the scale, that number, I will be happy. And I learned in that moment, this was like 10 years ago, I learned in that moment, that's not true. I don't even own a scale anymore. I don't know how much I weigh. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm trying to watch it. So point being, we have to begin to really peel back the layers of the onion and understand what wound and what consciousness are we operating from? Are we operating from the I'm not enough, from the I don't deserve it? And this manifests in the relationships that we have, the jobs we have, the amount of money we make, the amount of money we ask for, all these different things is all a representative of what we truly believe within ourselves about ourselves. So guiding women to really understand, first of all, here is something you've been walking around with. Have you even noticed this? Because it's usually sitting in a space that is out of our awareness. It's not like right here, but it's as if you've been wearing a certain pair of blue glasses your whole life. You've been seeing everything through this blue glasses. You don't know that the world isn't blue. You take these blue glasses off and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, wait, there's other colors. There's other ways of being. There's other things to do. And that's what it looks like when you start to kind of peel back each wound. Like this wound was telling you this wound was telling you that, this wound about your body, this one about your wrinkles, this one about your voice, this one about whatever it might be. So step by step, one by one, it takes work. It takes dedication. It takes discipline. It takes so much self-compassion and understanding that your little girl created these in order to feel safe and to remind her that she is now safe to be her true self. Inner child work is absolutely critical when it comes to healing this, in addition to working with the consciousness of the divine feminine. In the consciousness of the divine feminine, wounds do not exist. They just don't. She just is. She is perfect. She is beautiful, no matter what size she is, no matter how old she is, no matter nothing. She is just this beautiful, powerful being, and she knows it. So working with those two consciousnesses together, the little girl, the divine feminine, and I also like to add in our own higher self, we get to really embody this beautiful matrix within ourselves to be able to learn where these wounds came from, how to heal them, and what it looks like to be without them.
And one of the things that really struck, I mean, it all struck me, but one of the things that struck me is that you said it does take deep work, and it takes a lot of work. And some of the things that you noted, that people do, like, butt implants and all that stuff, is all things that are, we think of as being a silver bullet or something that can help us right away to have a quick fix. And I think the point is that anytime you're looking at making changes to improve your health, your wellness, how you feel, it does take work. So I think that's a really important note.
And I'll just add, there's nothing wrong with surgery or plastic surgery. I'm not against it by any means. What my point is if you think that will make you happy, it's that. If you're coming at it from a full place and you're going about it in a different way, by all means, I'm not putting it down. It's a matter of understanding that you're already perfect and that won't make you happy. It might for 2 weeks or a month or a year. And then you're like, okay, what now? What next? Now what do I do? How do I look good again?
Yeah, I think that's a real good distinction there to add. Leslie.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think she kind of covered all the bases on that, of all the things I hear, which is great. I love it. I love that we're all agreeing on things in terms of just the betterment of women, just in hearing everybody's conversation. I don't, sometimes you go into the thought process of, oh, I'm surrounded with people that kind of have similar messages or that really want to help people. Whereas I'm like, thank God there are this many people that are leading, because our voices need to get stronger and drown out the big things that people are still chasing for, losing weight and healing wounds and doing all of those things. And Truthfully, in the way that I teach, I do a combination of all those things, but I do a lot of somatic body healing and not what you think of if you were to Google like shaking and things like that, but all very peaceful ways of you just getting to understand and connect within and your wisdom, right? There's a book that I'm rereading at this moment that's called Existential Kink. I could say the first word wrong, but she talks a lot about how we actually love to be in our pain and we love to hate ourselves and we love it and why. And that's the really cool thing that I've learned and uncovered myself, and that I find clients do. Why do we want certain things? And that's a huge piece because a lot of times the reason why you're not getting the weight loss results or you're not seeing yourself heal or you're seeing yourself still in this repetitive pattern is because you actually enjoy it and you just don't want to admit that you enjoy it. And so we do quite a few different processes based on the person. And truthfully, I think that you find your practice that you love through what bothers you the most. So that's all I really have to add to all the beautiful things that Cam said. So
Yeah. And I think it's true. We do find what works for us. If we put the work into it, we'll find what really resonates and works for us because we're all different people.
agreed.
Anupama.
Yes. So I think what she said was absolutely right. How Leslie said, pain is a pleasure. Pain is a definite pleasure for many people who like to victimize themselves or in ways unknown like to stay victimized. Now, two things here that I would like to add: self-belief and the belief in the universe. Both of these are important if you want to uplift yourself. That could be in terms of diet, it could be in some terms of your mindset, it could be in terms of healing. If you have lost the belief in yourself, and more importantly, if you have lost the faith in the universe, God, whichever power you believe in, if you do not have that there is a grand plan, and I'm a part of this plan, and you feel alone. The reason most people can't empower themselves and they need someone else to come and empower them is they feel miserably alone and they feel that they can't do it on their own. So that power that Cam was talking about, the higher self, the divine feminine, all of that is inside of you. But if you do not do a definite practice, because the world is, if you just unplug your headphones and go for a walk, you're constantly being around things that are taking you down. What are you doing? What practices are you doing to lift yourself up? When I work with my clients, what I do is we do sets of visualization, affirmation, all of that is great. But the most important thing that we do is we help them restore faith in themselves and the power of the universe. That's integral. No matter what faith you come from, no matter who you believe in, even if you don't believe in anyone, if you just don't believe in yourself, that affirmation, that empowerment is never going to work. That's really important. That's the root cause of why it's not happening because you've lost all the faith, you've lost all the belief in what you do, what you stand for, who you are, what your voice is. Like, it's really difficult if you don't know where to start from. And the place to start from is to start reinstalling the belief in yourself, no matter how low on the plane you are. That's not too late. You can start now. Nobody can go back in the time. I think it's a powerful quote. I forgot by who. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anybody can start today and get to a wonderful ending. It's really a powerful reminder. And what we need, I believe, is more of reminders because what we need is all within ourselves. All the wisdom is within us. In Sanskrit, in ancient Indian language, Sanskrit, there's three words called Aham Brahmasmi, which means I am the universe. All of this is inside of you. What we need regularly, why we need all these practices, why we need all this wound healing, is reminding ourselves constantly of what we are and what we need to do. That's what we need. Reminders, not more advice.
Yeah, peel off those layers one by one. and work towards that. It's very important. Yeah, I agree. So Nancy.
Yeah, I don't know what I can add to this amazing lineup of what everybody said. I just being who I am, I pretty much, I'm going to be honest, I don't know that I dive into the wounds of people. I definitely help my clients kind of have that hope and restore belief in themselves. And we will uncover if the weight that they're actually carrying is not the physical weight on their body, but other areas. And then I might refer them out to somebody who can go in deeper to all that. My focus is usually the belief and what they can start now and they still can achieve whatever it is they want. One thing I will add, because I kind of hear the theme going on, 100% weight is never, ever your worth, ever. And I think it goes on the full spectrum from somebody being small, from somebody being bigger. There's a lot of judgment out there. But what we really do have to remember, though, that it can be your health. And so I don't want to negate things about weight and health because they're very real, but it is never, never your worth, ever. And health comes in every size and every shape and everything. But I love what everybody has been saying about knowing your worth and understanding and probably relearning your own worth, because we grew up just comparing and being told certain things. And I'm very kind of more practical, and it kind of come from this thing, and very much I look to, whereas therapy and counseling does dive deeper into the past, I kind of go into the guidance and then let's look forward. But I love that we have such amazing women that can help heal those wounds and can help understand and can help reestablish where they came, understand where they came from and how to release them and how to own every part of who you are and your journey. And I think that is a theme I heard here, is we do have to own ourselves, and we do have to own the responsibility that we have to honor ourselves, to take care of ourselves fully, however that looks. So just amazing. I'm just enthralled listening to everybody. I was going to say.
Me as well. Me too. We're coming back to that whole idea about being on a journey. For sure, it's an amazing journey, and I think when on my journey, as I started looking forward to what I wanted to do, some of the things that were holding me back made me start looking at my past. And, now when I think about it, and I have less of it, but when I have my moments where I'm not the best person that I could be, I'm always wondering, what am I covering up? What's in my past that's that's causing me to be like that? And so I think as part of your journey, you can maybe start looking forward, but then you might end up coming to your past and looking at your past as well. So it's really interesting, but you have to start on the journey. That's the thing. It's and everybody will have their own ride on that journey. And so I know that sometimes, the confidence to do things can feel fleeting. And, we might feel good about it for a while, but I want to get your thoughts on strategies or practices you recommend to help women to cultivate a sense of lasting confidence and vitality. So this is all about making it last and not just be, this is about the sustainability aspect. Leslie, you get to start first on this one.
Yeah, I think the true answer is if it's going to be lasting, it has to come from within, right? It can't come from somebody else telling you. You can't really work it in there. You can tell, I truly do understand manifestation, right? If you tell yourself something over and over again, you do begin to believe it. But it's different when confidence comes from inside. And I don't think that confidence is something you can repeatedly tell yourself you can just gain over and over again. Something has to click. And so I think that's really taking time by yourself. And many of the people I have learned from, and many of the people I still learn from, that's one of the best things they do, is really taking the time for deep discovery on the inside, instead of working on the outside. Yes, I do agree that you do still have to take action, but it's finding the right action to start with, right? And that comes from within, you know? If you're scared to talk to somebody, there's multiple ways to do so, right? You could try to grab somebody on a bustling street of New York City and stop them to have a conversation, and you're probably not going to feel very good about it, right? But if you're, going into a coffee shop and seeing the same person 30 times in a row, and they're always just sitting there drinking coffee, just being peaceful and quiet, and you happen to sit at a table near them, that would be a great way to maybe start the conversation out of the middle of nowhere and be an initiator instead of somebody to be scared, right? And so I think that the confidence has to come from you taking the first initial right step that came from the inside, not somebody telling you this is the first right step for you.
Very good. Anupama.
Yes. So if I'm going to talk about 3 specific practices. I'm going to talk about 1 practice for the body. I'm going to talk about 1 practice for the mind. And I'm going to talk about 1 practice for the soul. For you to upgrade yourself as a woman, for that matter, any person which you are. For the body, I think I really love the idea of cleansing yourself. So for your body to be activated, to be in a position to receive all the nutrients, absorb all the nutrients, and then give you the benefits, it's very important that your body stays cleansed. And one of the most easiest things that's rooted in deep Ayurveda of the Indian system is the turmeric. The turmeric, some people call it the turmeric in other parts of the world. Turmeric and ginger are basic anti-inflammatory cleansers that we have. This has been also one of the key protocols for us through the entire COVID, and even now it's antiviral, it's antibacterial, it's anti-inflammatory. It just keeps your body elevated in every possible way. It's a blood detoxifier. So if you can just have raw turmeric, maybe an inch in the morning, along with warm water and black pepper, that adds as a better absorption for turmeric. It helps greatly for your body to stay cleansed all the time. Turmeric and ginger are both great. Some people cannot handle turmeric because it's very, very, it produces a lot of heat in the body, if I could just put that way. So some people who are a little bit could want to start in a better, lighter way, they could start with ginger. You could also have ginger tea in the morning. I don't prefer tea or coffee at all for the morning. So if you could just boil some ginger, add some peppermint leaves or whatever, and have the tea in the morning, that could also be a potent cleanser for your body. If you do that, 2 things will happen. First, your body will be cleansed and will be ready to receive all the nutrients for the day. It will clean out your body. It will remove the toxins from your body. So your body is ready to receive. It's ready to perform. Creates a base. Second, it will also give you a sense of confidence of doing something for your body to be cleansed. Your mind starts working better because your mind is refreshed, it's cleansed, it's ready. So either turmeric with curcumin or ginger tea in the morning with peppermint, whatever works right for you. That's the body step. For the mind step, it's very important. Most people will tell you about all the morning rituals that need to be done. And that's important. What you should do more is think about the thoughts that go on your mind before you go to bed. Because if you go to bed with angry thoughts, sad thoughts, anxiety, that will reflect immediately next morning in your body, in your mind, and that will affect the entire day, your entire functioning, your entire performance. If you're a peak performance person, very important to watch your thoughts before going out at night. How you could reduce that is always consciously before going to bed, remove the thoughts from your mind and think about one thing that you did well in the day or one great thing, a compliment or a good interaction that happened with a person. Remember to connect with people just before you go to bed. If you stay alone, you could just think about a good interaction or a good thing that happened in the day for you before going to bed. That's the mind part. We've covered the body and the mind, and now for the soul. So I'm going to just So our body is energetically, we say there are 7 chakras in the body, which are 7 points. Now, how easily you can remember that is if you just, we all have remembered Vibgyor, right? The 7 colors of the rainbow. So if you reverse that Vibgyor, it ends with red, and then there's orange, then there is yellow, then there is green, then there's blue, there's indigo, there's violet. That's actually the sequence of the 7 chakras in your body, how it's there. So your base, the tail of your spine is red, and then there's orange, and then there's yellow, and then there's green, then there's blue, there's indigo, and then violet. So that's the sequence of chakras in your body. If you are a person who's feeling stressed and you feel that you need to be more, then heart is the place for you, the heart chakra. But if you're a person who feels scared, if you feel anxious, if you don't feel secure as a woman, security is the issue. If you want to work on your fears, that is what is stopping you. The point to work on is the base of the spine. How you work on that is very simple. You tap on your spine, the base of your spine, the tail bone. You tap on that and you just repeat to yourself that I feel safe and I am secure. I feel safe and I'm secure. That's the base foundation for you to work on. And then you can weigh up. There are 7 full details about how to work your way through to get to the inner peace, which is the violet chakra, which is the crown chakra right here above our body. But the base way, the basal way to work on your fears, your anxiety, is to tap at the bottom of your spine and repeat to yourself that you feel secure and you feel safe. So those 3 points, one practice for the body, one practice for the mind, one practice for the soul. If you do those 3 things, you'll have an amazing recipe for a great life throughout. Thank you.
Three things to start with. Now we're almost at 2:00, and I know that Leslie has to go right at 2. I don't know if anybody else has to. So what I'd like to do is maybe Leslie, and then if anybody else has to leave right at 2, what is the one thing to start right away that you can do very quickly to get going? And then I'd love to hear about your free gift.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, my answer would be if you've listened to this entire call, like figure out who you can talk to find out more information, whether it's one of us or like somebody from yesterday or getting more information from Debbie. I know she's wonderful, right? But I would say the thing to get started is to take the first action, whether it may seem like the smallest thing of I'm going to watch all of these free gifts or do all of these free things and take it in, right? Just make one small action step and start with one and then see where that next action step takes you, because that's how we get started, right? And thank you for this. I apologize to everybody. I've got to get my kids to bed. It's 8 p.m. here in Spain. And my free gift, I'll drop the link here just for anybody that's live on the call. But it's just a masterclass. It's called the Digestion Code Masterclass. It will teach you what your digestion code is, and how you can figure it out and things like that. And it's pretty cool. So
Nice.
enjoy. And thank you so much, Debbie, for doing
Thank
this and
you,
for letting me
Leslie.
sign off to go put those kids in bed.
All
It was nice
right.
to meet everybody here.
Thanks. Anybody else have to go right away? I thought I saw Nancy shaking her head, but maybe not. Okay. Yeah.
I have to go soon.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
I'll let you go next then.
And so what was the question again?
Just what's the one thing that people can do, women can do to get started right away, something simple, and then what your free gift is.
Yeah, I think, of course, just what Leslie was saying, I mean, definitely see who's resonating, take some action now, but I really feel like just taking it a step back and without the action, like instead of what to do, is to really think about why you're doing it. Why, we always have to start, we know it, we've heard it, right? We need to start with why, and we have to go inward, because if you just look at the to-dos, well, I want to do this and I want to do that, it can be very surface level and it can be very fleeting if you don't have the deeper reason for why. And I kind of say, like, your why needs to help you play the long game. It's because if we just play the short game, that's what we're just going to keep in this cycle. So before you figure out what your next move is, just like Leslie was saying, go inward and figure out your why. Figure out why it's important to you, why it matters. Go deep with it, and not just something surface level. The other part of that is, instead of all the to-dos that we instantly think of, is also think about, who do you want to be? Instead of what do I need to do, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a person that wakes up with energy, with vitality, that nourishes her body from the inside out, that nourishes her mind and her soul? Like, the to-dos will follow both of those. They'll follow your why and they'll follow your to be. And so that's really, really key. Instead of you're going inward out instead of outward in. And it really is impactful, and it really is how you achieve whatever your goal is, how you achieve sustainability, because it's not in the moment. It's not just about what happens right this very second or the results, because we can be doing all the work and we're not seeing anything and we're not feeling anything. And so we're like, oh, it's not working, but it is. It's still working. You just got to keep going. You got to give it time. You got to give it the energy it needs and the attention and the devotion. So that's what my takeaway. And the free gift that I have is a free download. It's just a guide I put together. It's called Nourish, and it's your midlife guide to creating the life and body you love living in. And it's just some practical tools for creating those foundations.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank
Well
you.
said.
Amazing to meet everyone today.
Thank you. Cam?
Thank you, Nancy. Stay here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it super simple. Setting an intention. Set the intention. Intentions are so powerful. It's coming from this space of truth within our beings. And so if I sit there and I say, my intention is to heal my wounding, my intention is to become empowered, my intention is to be the best possible version of myself, then the universe starts to conspire accordingly, starts to send you signs, signals, people, situations, events, all these different things in order for you to begin going that path. So instead of because I'm somebody who in the past, I used to get overwhelmed when I'm thrown a lot of information. For me, what worked best and what continues to is, I'm going to set this intention, and then I'm going to really trust every single thing that shows up. And then with my intuition, with my signal within, decide which path to go, because the universe does conspire and work for us. And it's a beautiful thing. And as far as my free gift, I am offering, me and my beautiful business partner, who's going to be on the next panel, Amber, we are offering a free 20-minute breakthrough session to help anybody that wants to feel into and realize and break through what some of their wounding might be and what could be holding them back from their power.
Very nice. I love that.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
I've got to jump off too. This was beautiful. It was lovely meeting you all.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
All right. And Anupama, you get to start or end all on your own. You're the one that's like whatever, 12:30 at night. But,
Isn't it beautiful?
yeah, so I'll let you have the last word on what would be your one thing that people could do to get started, and then let us know about your free gift.
Thank you. I already said 3 parts about your
Yes.
body, so that you could get started on your body, your mind, or your soul, depending on whichever level that you are on. If you're on the body part, I recommend highly that you start on 3 parts equally, because until your body is ready, your mind is not activated, your mind is not ready. You will know this, Debbie, because you are a vegan, that your mind starts to unclog and unfog when you start to eat clean. It's the same way with your mind, and it's the same way with your soul as well. So start with your body, because your body is the haven for everything that you are. So cleanse your body. First step in the morning, get up and cleanse your body. If you cannot have anything, just start with a glass of warm water. Warm water, and I mean warm. you start with that, and then you do whatever practices you can to feed your mind, and then you feed your soul by the three practices that I told you about already. If you haven't gone through this, you go back to the last part of the recording and go through them. What you need to do is you need to feel the empowered version of yourself, better version of yourself with all practices that you relate to. But the beginning of that is by healing of yourself from the past. Dissociation from the past is most important for you to start a great future. And how you can do that is I'm just going to drop in the link for everyone in the chat. You can start by following this journal that I've put together for all of you. It's a 30-day unclog of your mind. It's called the zero effort journal because it takes you less than 5 minutes to complete each day. There is each day and night put together for all of you for 30 days. After 30 days, you start healing yourself. You come to a mindset where you start looking at the bigger things, achieving the bigger things, and you let go of your past. After you have finished this for 30 days, if you want more, you could reach out to me. I could personally speak to you about how to go to the next level of your mindset, depending on what your goals are. But this is your place to start if you really want to start letting go of the past, stepping to the present to get to a wonderful future. This is your go-to. I've already put the link here. If you want, you can get it printed. You can do it with the doc. I don't care, but get started on it today. That's the final word for you. Debbie, thank you so much for having me.
So much.
It was really fun.
Thank you for joining. And I'm just going to say for everybody, I'm thanking all of the speakers who are no longer here, but I will make sure that they know how grateful I am that they attended. And I will be sending an email out later today with the free gifts from the sessions that we're having today so that you can, if you don't get a chance to download them here, you can get them after. All right. Well, thank you. We are 5 minutes away from our second panel for the day, and we'll just take a 5-minute break and be back. And
Debbie, when can I expect the recording?
in a couple of weeks. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Good wishes from India. Bye-bye.
Bye.